So I've just spent a couple of hours tidying up the kitchen garden, so I thought I'd give you a quick tour. I'll just grab the camera off the tripod and walk you around. So I'm going to start here. So this is where I had peppers and brassicas and all sorts of other bits and pieces, and I've cleared all these and just put little bits of autumn spinach in these pots. I've only just planted them out, but to be honest, they're not doing that well. Some of them are starting to pick up, and I think I might get a decent crop off those, but I've got a lot of spinach on the allotment, so I'm not really too worried about that. But it is nice to have little bits and pieces here in the kitchen garden to snack on. I've got some beets here to snack on, and I've got what's left of my summer strawberries there, which really need composting now. These are the colettes, and I've never seen such sickly specimens of colettes. They're like this, I hope, because of the horrendous whitefly. This is pretty bad. I'm not massively worried about it because, you know, in a couple of months' time, all of these leaves will have gone, and we'll just have the colettes on the stems. I'm starting to get a few colettes down here. These little colettes don't tend to get the whitefly. It's only the big leaves. I do think that some of these plants have probably got some clubroot or something like that, the stunted ones. Anyway, they haven't done very well. It's either been a really bad summer for them, or this ground just doesn't suit them. It's the first time I've grown them really in this bed, and I've grown a lot here because I've got a lot of clubroot on my allotment, so I just thought, well, I'll put them all in here for a change. I don't think I'll be doing it here next year. In fact, I don't think I'll grow quite as many colettes next year because I've been growing a lot more cabbages. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Cleared a bed here. I'll show you all the seedlings I've got to put in all my cleared beds. I've got a few cleared beds. I've got some oca here. Lovely lemony, zesty, crunchy little roots. Really love those. So I've got quite a few tubs of these scattered around. I eat them instead of radishes in midwinter because I don't really rate radishes in midwinter. Hard to grow. Got some kales and Brussels sprouts around the edge, and just cleared up these strawberries. So they're looking reasonably okay now. So these are summer fruiting strawberry. And all the blueberries are finished, all the gooseberries are finished, of course, down here. And I haven't taken all the old wood off these raspberries yet. But what I have done is I've cut all the old ones off at the bottom, and so they've all died, so I know which ones to untangle from all that string when I actually finally do get around to it. And I've just tidied this bed up of cabbages, and I wasn't very happy to find that I've got clubroot in at least this part of the bed, and you can see the cabbages aren't very big. And I've taken some of them out because they just sort of fell over because the roots just rotted away. So yeah, that is a bit of a blow because I am growing more cabbages. But what I'm going to do with these cabbages, which is what I did last year, is I'll take the best of these and I'll pot them up into small pots, like say these pots down here, and I'll keep them either in the polytunnel on the allotment or in the greenhouse, so that I can keep them going until sort of March time. Because what I find is, well, they're occupied, basically they're not going to do much more growing. I mean, that is fine now. I don't need it to grow anymore. What I need it to do is not rot. And so I find that if I pot it up and bring it inside, it keeps alive, keeps nice and fresh, lasts a long time, and I can replant this bed. Whereas if I left it in here until March, it would almost certainly just rot away. You know, slugs and snails and whatever would move in, and yeah, and obviously just occupies the bed all the way through winter when I could be growing something. So that's my plan. So I will have this bed cleared, which does mean, unfortunately, that these baby little savoys will probably have to come out, but anyway, that's just a lesson learned for next year. So yeah, just more blueberries and stuff around here, and then I'll just show you a few seedlings. So got some spare kale plants up here, lots of different ones. Whether I need these or not, I'm not sure yet. I've got my overwintering onions, tough ball, 2 successions of those. I don't need a huge amount because I just really need enough to get me through, let me think, really late May, June and July, and then my main crop onions are ready. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's enough, easily enough to do that. And I've got some salad onions there, and some Claytonia or miner's lettuce there. I've got the greenhouse. Greenhouse is a bit in transition at the moment, so it's got a few things for summer. So primarily it's got these peppers from summer anyway, not for summer because it's not summer anymore. Still a few peppers on these. These will ripen, and I'll keep these in for a while, probably until, I'm thinking, the end of October, something like that. I won't have any peppers on the allotment by the end of October, so it's quite nice just to have a few, just for eating fresh. But the freezer's full of peppers now. We've got loads of peppers on the allotment, so we're not short of peppers. We're just keeping these few going, as I say, just for late autumn. And then I've started just playing around with some winter crops in here. So little carrots for winter, for salad mixes. Parsley, which is looking a bit unhappy at the moment because it's been really hot in here, but it's cooling down now. And obviously that's got some green fly or something by the look of it. And then I've got some little clumps of beetroot and little clumps of chard. And I'm just playing around with these. They're really late. I don't really know whether I'll just get a leaf harvest or I might just get some small baby roots off them. I don't know. I'm just playing around. And I've got my late tomatoes, and I've got two strategies for my tomatoes that I'm working on. I've got these which are sowed in July, early July, and these are absolutely full of decent sized cherries. Still got a little bit of growing to do, but I've got a lot of these. I've got 5 tubs of these, and actually that's probably, looking at the numbers on here, that's probably enough cherry tomatoes to keep us in tomatoes all the way through autumn. And yeah, I've got another one there, and then I've got these which are sun gold, and again I started these quite late. I think I started these 28th of April, and again these have got a lot of fruits on them, and sun gold are really lovely. So again, I'm hoping that this will sort of complement, and I'll see which one works best, whether a late crop of sun gold or a very late crop of tumbler work for my cherries. We don't need anything other than cherry tomatoes for salads, because tomatoes that we use in cooking we've already got either in the freezer or turned into sauces and things like that. So yeah, that's that. And then I've got my seedling bench. This is currently full of seedlings that are going to be planted in September and early October, and then it'll turn and I'll start filling it with all of my overwintered brassicas. My first few are here, little cabbages with a bit of white fly, which is not great. And yeah, but it will be loads of cauliflowers, all different varieties, calabrese, cabbages, red cabbages, spring cabbages, all that. So this will kind of be full of all of those things all the way along here. And then once these peppers come out, all of these will come onto the floor, and then by about November time I'll start putting in all the spinach and lettuce that will be eaten in midwinter, and that'll grow under these grow lights. Out here I've got my 2 tender trees. So I've got my apricot and my peach, and they go in this corner and this corner, and they don't go in until January, and then they come out once they've got fruit set. So let's say they come out in sort of late March sort of time, and then things like cucumbers and stuff like that go in those corners. So yeah, spinach. So this is the summer spinach, what's left over of it. Still some reasonably okay leaves on it, as long as you overlook all the yellowing ones. And then I've got my next batch of strawberries. So these are ever-bearing strawberries, and I'm hoping that once I get these in the hanging baskets and put them in the greenhouse, they will start to flower. I've got ever-bearing strawberries in here already, and they're doing okay. I'm snacking on those, but I want to keep strawberries going as long as I can. I've got some Brussels sprouts here. They're looking quite nice. Got a few grapes on the grapevine, not very much this year obviously because of the weather, it's been terrible, but a few. And I've just cleared these 3 beds, and it's going to be a mix of salad onions, claytonia, miner's lettuce, kale, etc. in these beds. Just finishing, just took probably what will be the last pick of tomatoes off these plants, and most of these, all these were tomatoes around here, they're all pretty much finished now. I've only really got probably 2 weeks supply of cherry tomatoes left. This plant's probably the best one that I've got, but then I've got all those in the greenhouse, so it's not so bad. And then I've got my spinach for the allotment, that'll go in one of my cold frames, lettuces to go under my low tunnels, and then I've got first batch of cauliflowers there, first batch of cabbages there, all my Asian greens to go in the polytunnel, and then all my lettuces to go in the polytunnel, and some more salad onions, and a tray of salad onions that didn't germinate. And I think that's everything, apart from stuff on the drive. Let's just have a quick look at that. So we did have scaffolding all the way down here, it came right out over these plants, so they're all completely like flopped over because they've been growing in the shade. But we've got ochre, and yacon, lots of yacon, because, well, we just had a lot of roots. I don't want to throw them out, so I thought I'll put them in some of these tubs, and I'll see if I can get some smaller yacon tubers, because in previous years we've got yacon on the allotment as well, we get such huge tubers from it, and we can't get through a whole tuber, in a day or two. So I'm hoping for lots of little tubers, maybe sort of fist size sort of thing, which we can get through in a couple of days. So I'll see, but obviously they've really suffered from growing in the shade, but they're not too bad. And we didn't get a single pear off this pear tree, but we did get a lot of cherries off the cherry tree. We've still got a few apples on some of these apple trees, and yeah, I think that's it. So hope you like that quick ramble around the kitchen garden. There's a lot more going on the allotment than there is in the kitchen garden at this time of year, but the greenhouse I think should be quite exciting. I love being in this greenhouse, especially in midwinter when I've got the heating on and the grow lights on, and it's just like really bright and sunny, and it's full of lush vegetation. Yeah, it's just a really nice place to be, and I get my chair out and sit in here and read a book or something. So yeah, I'm hoping, I keep on trying to push the boundaries of what I can do with the greenhouse. Only 1 year in really, so I haven't had much practice, but everything that I did with the greenhouse I did a different way before on the allotment with the polytunnel, I'm just trying to make it just a little bit better and a little bit more interesting in the greenhouse for myself. And that means just a little bit better diet. So yeah, my name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden channel, and I'll see you soon.